What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are working on the A90 Toyota Supra, installing more carbon fiber, and to be exact we are actually going to be upgrading the flimsy little plastic paddle shifters that you obviously get stock on this car. They're not that bad, they do look pretty good with the silver, and they do have some size to them. They're maybe 3 inches in length. But of course that can always be improved with something much nicer. So here is what I have. This is from Paddle Shifters. I will have them linked on Instagram. They do a lot of BMW products. They specialize in that, and they are all made in Germany. They are a German company. So today for the Supra, since this is built by BMW, we have their set of carbon fiber paddle shifters. As you can see, they have a really good selection of different paddle shifters for all the modern BMWs as well as older ones, and they have several different colors. You can get aluminum, silver, whatever you want, carbon fiber, colored carbon fiber, things like that. I went with the normal gloss carbon fiber, and we even have the red plus and minus, and the carbon's gonna match very nicely to the gloss carbon you get in the center. So first up, to actually do this, because we have to take apart the steering wheel just a little bit, we're gonna open up the trunk and disconnect the battery. The battery in the Supra is located right here in the trunk. You just take the little floorboard and push that up out of the way. You kind of have to wedge it back there. And then from there, you have a little bit of plastic pieces that you're gonna take off. Then you have this red one, and right there we have a 10mm. We are of course gonna use just a standard socket on this. And from here, we will just slowly start disconnecting the positive wire. That way we can safely have this all off. All right, and then we're just gonna sit this over and put this plastic piece over the actual terminal just to keep this out of the way, and that way nothing's gonna touch it. So with the battery disconnected now, it's time to take a flathead like this, and we are going to work on removing the airbag to where we can unbolt the paddle shifters. So what you're going to do, you're gonna notice on the underside, there is a little slot on the left and the right side. That little slot is where you're going to actually puncture with the flathead to get these springs to release everything. So you are putting a permanent hole in the car, but you really are never going to see this. It takes a little bit of pressure. So as you can see, I put a hole in it. So with the screwdriver in there a little bit, we're gonna push this left side in and keep the screwdriver roughly at a 45-degree angle, and you will feel some metal springs back there. It is kind of tricky. So push the airbag in and you'll feel these metal springs that you can then pick up. So onto the other side, just push it up. It's really hard finding the spring. So you can kind of hear how it just unclicked right there.
2 hours later.
All right, do not let the video fool you. That literally took me over an hour to do. That was an absolute pain in the butt. So you're looking for the silver spring right here that you're pushing through the hole, and then there's another one on the other side right there. You're supposed to push those in, and those release these circles. There's only 3 circle clamps that hold this into here. But my goodness, that was so hard to just line up the screwdriver and get attached and undo it. That was an hour later, and I am sweating like crazy because it's so hot out. So that hopefully is the hardest part. That was a major pain. Every other video I've seen, they made it look like it took a second. If you're a Supra owner and this takes you a second, you had much better luck than I did. So from there, we're gonna get these wires out of the little crevice up top, because these will also need to be unplugged. And I think you just take a flathead to press down on the lock piece, just like any other electrical connection. And there you go, it falls right out into your lap. Nothing like an explosive in your lap. So airbag is out, unplugged, super simple to do. Next up, I've seen other videos where they remove the whole steering wheel. I don't think I need to do that, because inside here we have the T20, and then I believe just this clamp or this plug right here, and the actual paddle shifter should come right off, and then we can disassemble this over in the garage. So I already went ahead and got this side off. So to do this, you do not need to get the steering wheel out, like I mentioned. Pull this blue plug right here. Sometimes it helps if you take some needle nose pliers. Just pull it out of the foam little spot that it sits. So once you get that out just a little bit, take a flathead. There's not really much holding this plug in. So all you're gonna do is just kind of use the flathead to help push out this connector, and we can unplug it. I'm just gonna take my little hand tool here with a pair of pliers, because it's on it a little bit tight, and just give it a twist or two, And from here, we will just remove the bolt, and the whole paddle shifter is actually gonna come right out. I don't know why other videos were taking the whole steering wheel off. That was pretty unnecessary. So with that off, just pull the paddle and the plug will come right through the hole, and then there we go. That is the paddle shifter. So with that, we now have the two paddle shifters out. You can see we have the plus and then the minus, and just a really good look at how much cooler these carbon fiber ones look. That is gonna be a huge upgrade. So with all that said, we'll get the minuses out of the way and just work on the plus. What you're gonna notice is on the bottom, there is a larger circle hole, and then on the top, you can see this one right here, you have a little bit smaller one. Just take something that you have that is skinny and metal, and we're gonna push that post all the way through. So I just have a little tool for my Dremel, and you can see me pushing that all the way out, and we will pull this piece out, keeping everything in the correct line. So from there, I'm going to pick this side up and just pull it back a little bit. We have a little rocker button piece right there and a spring. So I'm then going to line up the new shifter exactly the same way. And that spring is actually also going to correspond to the little nub piece right there, as you can see. So I guess I can actually kind of do this free-handed so the spring doesn't fall out. We're just going to line up the two little grooves, get them into place, and then secure this down, and then reinstall this piece just like we did. All right, so now, as you can hear, so we'll take one closer look at this now that I can zoom in nicely so you can see what it looks like. That was the inside of the old one, which looks exactly like the new one. So while these are legit for the BMW, we now know these are also for Toyota Supra, so I'll have that exactly linked down below. So there we have it. That was how quick it is to actually swap out paddle shifters for the carbon fiber ones from Paddle Shifters. Already looking amazing. They were a direct fit, as you can see. And of course, way better than the stupid cheap plastic. So this is gonna be super awesome. Now we can go ahead and install these into the Supra. So from there, now that we have the full paddle shifter all done, just from the back side, we're gonna slide the blue connector back in and pull this all the way in. And this basically just sits there against the plastic on the backside. And then I can take that same T20 and just thread that back into the paddle shifter itself. So already, that is awesome feeling. You'll see it in just a second in better detail. That already feels so cool. And then of course we can easily just plug back in the blue plugs and slide these up back into the foam little spots for them. And then here's a better look at it, and now you can see how long these paddles are. You can even pull them all the way from the top or the bottom. I love the carbon fiber. Definitely matches really well, especially with all the red. And as you guys know, I have red seat belts, so that's a really nice touch. And then from there, we can just take the two different plugs and plug back in the airbag. We have the little white one, super easy. You can hear it click. And then the black one, you just push it all the way in the back. And then we also have the white one we need to push back into the little foam spot for up in the top so it's out of the way. Same with the wires, they have their own little designated spot. Maybe use a flathead to help get that into the correct slot. All right, so from there, before I actually clamp this all the way down, I'm just gonna let it sit here and turn the battery on and make sure no check engine lights or anything are on. But everything is plugged in correctly. This won't affect me starting it up. Just in case. Alright, so the car has started up now. Sweating like crazy because it is pretty toasty out here. But as you can see, only warning light is of course just the seatbelt that's not on. Next up, had to hear my wimpy little horn. But there we go, there are the paddle shifters. Looking super cool. And go ahead and shut it off, but look at that. Carbon fiber paddle shifters. Definitely time to now take this for a spin and to see how much cooler these are than the stock ones. All right guys, so we are in the Supra now. Still in automatic mode just to admire the way these look as we get up to some speed now. They look super sweet. I especially love the black glossy carbon fiber. It matches perfectly to what you get in the center of the car. So then if I put it into manual mode and do my own shifting, they just look so much better. And I love how I can actually hit them from down here. I'm so used to in my GTR, which has paddles really similar in size to this. It's so easy just to hit them down here if you're just playing around with the car. So I like how with this, it doesn't really matter where my hand is on the steering wheel. I can easily upshift up here, upshift down here, kind of do whatever you want. And they have a really good like lip on the back, so they kind of cradle your fingertips. I really like that aspect. They definitely feel a lot more performance oriented than the cheap plastic ones. And of course, there's no manual in this car, so all you have is the paddle shifters. And I think once you throw on a way better, cooler looking paddle shifter than stock, it just makes the car a lot more fun. They look super sick. Let's go ahead and put it into sport mode and the sport traction control. They just look awesome. They feel so much better. I love the smooth feeling of the carbon fiber versus just the padded rubber that you get on the stock one. And for the price point and the somewhat ease of installation, these are super easy and cheap to do. It was pretty hard to get the airbag off. That was a major pain in the butt. So that's the only thing that's really difficult, I would say, with the installation. Other than that, though, actually swapping out the back was super quick. Just one little thing, and as you saw, that was no time at all. And then the fit and finish, they look perfect. The carbon matches this perfectly. And of course, like I said, you can get different colors, different shades, kind of whatever you want. You can customize these to be exactly what you want. For me, this is what I like. And the fit and finish of them, they feel solid. There's nothing bendy or weird around them. They just feel exactly the way I want them to feel. Yep, one more mod to the Supra that just makes it that much more fun. So unfortunately, that is it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And then check out Paddle Shifters. I'll have their Instagram and their website all linked down below for those of you with any of the BMWs or the A90 Toyota Supra. Definitely check them out and customize a really cool set of paddles. And I love seeing them turn with the wheel. That just adds that extra touch that the Supra was missing. And it really made the interior a heck of a lot better. So that is it for the video. I'll see you guys next time.